Terry Lewis said in an interview one time, "You're not a true producer until you've mixed vocals." And I understand what he's saying. So I'm just going to take you through a couple of things that I do when I'm mixing vocals. There's a lot of manipulation that goes on. In short, all you really want to do is make sure that the beat and the vocals and the background vocals are heard above, among, and within everything that's going on. No matter what, the vocals are the most important part of a song. And but there's always an exception. You also want them to blend well with the music and not be too prominent. So doing quite a few things here, and I'll just take you through them very quickly. Little tricks that I do when I'm mixing. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, but it's just a way of bringing a good sound and feel to the song, and the way I've learned over the years of doing this. Okay, so one of the things that I do to control the mix of the vocals, you remember that before I said that the vocals were layered 16 times. So if you come down here to what I have reel backs, you'll see my 16 vocals here. Whole bunch of stuff that I was going through and mixing and getting correct and making sure it was sonically strong within the groove, within the soundscape. What I do is what's called a bounce in order to free up processor speed, in order to open up the sound and control it better. And I bounce them down to this track down here called Reel Backs Bounce, right here. And that allows me to control them and add space to them and put them in the mix the way I want. And another one of my tricks is I do that with everything that I feel needs to be prominent. So you'll see a lead vocal bounce, you'll see a reel backs bounce, you'll see a solos bounce up here that I'm about to bring down just amongst everybody else next to my solos. And that's the flute solo and the sax solo at the end. And all it really does is give like a little what's called parallel compression, a little step above the mix. It doesn't really make it prominent to the point of it being disturbing, but just enough that it's hitting your ear a little bit harder than everything else in the mix. So that's some tricks that I do. Another thing is adding space to background vocals. This is a plugin that's called CLA Epic, and it's adding space to the background vocals to make them nice and wide. So those are just some things that I do to get the mix sounding great. And I'll just let you hear a little quick snippet of how everything is sounding now as we get closer and closer to the end of the creation of this song. It's really exciting stuff. So I mentioned this plugin before, and this plugin adds space. But what I want is the type of space that is just wide and not wet. Those are just terms that we use to describe the amount of reverb that's on the vocal. So the way I'm going to control that, in the beginning of the song, when I got the bars, they're way too wet when I hit this. So if you listen. See, I don't want all that reverb on the back. So, but I do want it in the rest of the song. So the way that I do that is I'm going to do what's called animate. I'm going to hit touch, I'm going to record, and I'm going to come up here and hit bypass, turn the bypass on when it starts, and it'll be nice and dry. Nice and dry. Okay, then I'm gonna turn the bypass off. Then when it gets to the chorus, it'll be nice and wide. So let's go to the chorus. So, no bypass. So now you can hear them full in the mix, a little bit of reverb and space on them. So that's automation.
sit around with you, girl, and make you mine. 'Cause I don't wanna sit down. Decide